Welcome everybody. We're going to pick up where we left off yesterday, and I'm going to show you what I did or what I had to do to get this to work. Now normally I use a spine on these things. Let me cut it loose from the table. Matter of fact, let's change camera views. And transition. Hey, thanks for the likes. So, normally I use a spine on the bottom of this mold buck, but last night, because of the water, the mold started to bow, so I just taped it to the bench. But we're going to put a spine on this thing before I use it again. That's not a problem. You know, yeah, now it's straight. You got to do what you got to do. Just keep in mind when you're doing this stuff, it's only wood, and it's not a big deal. You have to manipulate it as you want. So the first thing we're going to do is get this off, get the ace bandage off. This has been drying overnight. It's dry. You know, it doesn't feel damp or anything. So let's see. I put a piece of tape on the end to pull it down. I'm going to show you how to trim this and get the perfect fit that you need. And of course we'll weigh it. It should be under a ½ ounce. I got a call last night after the show, and I guess the things that I take for granted that I know are really kind of useful to some people, such as showing the way to get the wood to bend around there. These big woven ace bandages kind of leave imprints in the wood that you have to sand out. We'll do that before we take it off the buck for good. Set this aside. Get this out of the way. And I'm going to show you what I mean by a spine after I cut it off the trim it to shape. It says we're not receiving enough video. Yes, 3:30 seconds on the mold. I don't understand what's up with YouTube. Can you guys see the video okay, or is it choppy or what? I'm getting a thing that's experiencing not enough video. Okay. There we go. It went away, so it fixed itself. So let's look down here. Now it bowed a little bit, but it's okay. This is very light. Very, very light. Let's see how much it weighs. Now, in previous models, I've been molding two pieces of 16th glued together with white glue. This is the way that my Thunderbolt was done, just a piece of 3/32. Oh, okay, great, Charles. I'll be off of here 8 o'clock, so if you want to start your chat anytime, that's fine. Okay, we have for the bottom block weight 0.45, so it's less than a half ounce. Let's see how many grams. 13 grams. And when I trim that off, it will weigh less. So first thing you got to do, this is basically like leading edge sheeting. Once that it leaves the buck and is glued onto the formers, you can't sand it. So put it back on the buck. And we're going to I'm just taking out those marks that were left by the ace bandage. Just a light sanding, 320. Now if you notice this buck, this is not the bottom of the skin. We have to separate that skin right along that line. So how would you do it? And get a perfect cut so that it fits perfectly on the fuselage. Not a problem. Let me get a piece of 320 here. I was also got a phone call today about my finishing method. I guess I'm going to have to go through that and show you exactly that yes, you can get a 6-ounce finish. Let's see. Yes, you can get a 6-ounce finish on a 6 to 7-ounce finish on a big stunt plane using my method. But there's going to be a lot of this involved, a lot of sanding. Shine doesn't come from dope, it comes from sanding. I'm going to go over that one more time with some finer grade sandpaper. 5,000, no. 180, no. 2,000, no. These are 320. 500. Let's try a piece of 500. You know, Harbor Freight sells sandpaper. They don't have 400 and they don't have 600, but they got 500. It's kind of crappy paper, but for what we do, you know, this stuff is real expensive too. This 3M 320, super expensive. I like that rolled paper I showed you from Amazon. You buy a roll of 320, it'll last you 4 or 5 airplanes. I'm out of that right now, so we're going to do the fourths on this. This paper here, I don't know, has a strange feeling to it. It's kind of like paper. It's real stiff, like they use too much starch in it. Or most sandpaper is flexible. And I'm kind of a connoisseur on sanding. I mean, I know about sanding, that's for sure. What this will do, we're just trying to clean up the scratches on this. I also brought my jab saw home so that I can cut and make the bulkheads. Hello, Todd. Now this is not the Friday night hangout. This is one of my build videos. 8 o'clock I'll be off of here and or thereabouts, and Charles will take over for the nightly show. And we won't be sanding this anymore until it's doped and got tissue on it. So this is kind of important to get those lines out of there. Okay, we got a setup for cutting this off the buck and getting a perfect line around it. And it's not very hard. Let's move this crap out of the way. Let's see, I need a razor blade. There they are. So you get yourself a single edge razor blade. We used to use double edge, but they're sharper. But you can't hardly find that stuff no more. Then get yourself a piece of 3/8. Got to be careful. We might be using some of this for the elevator stabilizer. I think tomorrow I'll lay out the stabilizer, and we'll build a stabilizer. Going to be built up on this one. Let's see here. Need to whack off a piece here. What I'm building here is the cutting tool to cut that loose. And take your razor blade. Hey, yeah, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. Hit the join button if you're not a member. Super chats help. And you want to leave the blade hanging off, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. We're going to glue it to this. Yeah. Gap filling medium. Come on. It must be plugged up. There we go. This is a kind of a use once, throw away, or you can save it or whatever, you know. Doesn't have to be pretty. We're not building a watch. We're just making a tool. Have to get the kicker. There we go. There it went. Okay, what this does is it holds the blade 3/8 of an inch off the bench, just like the 3/8 of an inch that we have as a backer for this mold. If you were going to put if you were going to make this out of hardwood, let's say that you used 1/2 inch, you'd make this tool a 1/2 inch off the bench. And if you're going to use hardwood, I would suggest that you put a spine in it that you can screw on and off, because you're going to have this flat on the bench when you trim the skin. Let me clean this stuff up before I start trimming. We also need to make a couple of bulkheads, but I need to cut them into that buck because I changed position or bulkhead location on this fuselage from the other one. And kind of an important part on making a strong airplane is having the bulkhead go all the way from the top block all the way at the top to the bottom block all the way to the bottom. So you can't just leave it open without a bulkhead, or else it won't be, you know, an egg. Remember what I said about an egg? An egg is the strongest thing moving. So we're going to put this down in there where it goes. Just set this flat on the bench and hold it down, and take your tool that you made and drag it right flat on the bench. Keep everything flat on the bench. hard spot in this. There we go. Okay, make sure that it cut right through that. For some reason I got a hard spot in this thing. It's right there, must be some glue or something. We'll sand that out. And just sight down it. It's got, like I said, it had a hard spot in it. Just sanding that hard spot out. Okay, I got it. Turn her around, do the other side. Why is it not laying down on there right? There we go. I think I'm going to tape it. We'll tape it on there. I'll stick a pin in it, that's what I'll do. No, tape is better. Where the heck did my tape go? Tape is more better. Except I can't find it. You know darn well it's here. And we'll use the 2-inch. That'll hold it down better. Well, this show is gaining popularity. More and more people watching this series all the time. I guess what I'm going to do for the members is when this build series is done, I'm going to edit up all the footage that I shot, condense it, and do a voiceover tutorial on everything that I've done. That'll make it go a lot quicker, but okay. There we go. Let's cut the other side. Then we'll cut the bulkheads, glue them on. And then fit it. They didn't have a hard spot on that side. See how nice that cuts that? It's perfectly straight across there. Why is this side warped up like that? You know, never settle. If it ain't right, do it until it is right. See, the left side is good, the right side has that hard spot in it. We're going to get that out of there somehow. It's only wood. If you were here, you could see there's a hoop, and it's right here. It's like the grain is hard. So we'll try cutting it again, trimming it, make sure that it's that ain't it. We're gonna have to sand it. I don't know how it's. No, I got it. Okay. So let's see what it weighs after we've cut this up. So it should be around the 12 gram mark. And that's really important. The top block's going to weigh an ounce after it's carved and hollowed. I know that for a fact. It's just I won't be satisfied until it's down to an ounce. So we got a half ounce here, so we're looking at an ounce and a half more than what the fuselage weighs. $12 grams exactly. And if you don't believe me, let's see if you can see that. $12 grams. So that gets fitted on here. And this goes up to here. Kind of widened. Oh, I see what happened here. So I need to get the bulkheads in it before I start sanding on it any. So let me show you how I'm going to change the bulkhead location. If you remember, when I revamped this, I went inside and I drew the bulkhead locations. So I'm just going to take a pen here. This is the center of it. And this is the center of it. So I've moved them back, looks like 1 inch. Because this was originally for a non-piped airplane. And even though this airplane is not going to run a pipe, I am setting it up for a pipe tunnel in case there's a change of heart. So this is a jab saw. It's a snap-on jab saw. You can use a hacksaw blade or a sawzall blade, whatever. And this is a miter box, and it obviously won't fit in the miter box. But I can use the miter box to hold it 90 degrees. I'm going to cut down to the bottom. So I'm holding the blade at 90 degrees to the bench with the edge of the miter saw, or you can use a square. And I'm eyeballing parallel with the other bulkhead. Okay, we have our bulkheads locations. So now I want to get some 16th. And you want the grain of this in order to keep, we want to use the grain of the wood to get the most strength out of it. So the grain we want to run top to bottom. We don't want to run side to side. So I just plug it in there like so. You can trace it and do whatever, but I just kind of hack it off and sand it to shape. Okay, I broke it there. Now I'm going to get a 90 degree at the bottom here so it fits tight against the bulkhead. If I can find a square. You know, I got about 5 squares around here. I never can find them when I need them. We'll use this one, I suppose. Okay, it's run in there all the way. We'll hack this off. And just take the knife and then trim away what doesn't look like an airplane. With this wood here, you want light wood, but you want like B grain. Start again with that piece. And we'll get one out of there anyway. So what this does by doing it this way, it gives you a perfect negative perfect positive of the negative representation of what's inside the buck. Yeah. Broke that one too. Let me close them up. And we're going to pick this out of here. I might have to make another one of these too, because I broke it. I'm having a heck of a time tonight. I have to file that a little bigger, I guess. A little looser, it's too tight. Yep. I got the darn gap too tight, so we'll cut that out of there. Can't get the bulkhead out. Let me see if I can find that file. No file. And you know what's crazy is I just had that in my hand before I started the show. I won't find it until it's over. Because that's the way that it works. I know I'm looking at it. Oh well. I will guarantee I'm looking right at it and can't see it. I guess I'm going to have to clean this place up again. Okay, I'll just grind away with this till it fits in and out nicely. Yeah, that's better. See, this one's too tight back here, that's why it broke on the last time. There we go. Okay. Let's cut us a couple of pieces so I don't have to go through that again. I guess I will trim them up a little closer. I don't want to do this again, so I'll do it a little slower. And we'll trim it closer to shape. one here. My blade's getting dull. Okay, and one of my friend Bill Noyes ever watches this show. Alright, let's sand this out. I can't believe the amount of people that watch this thing. We've already had 61 playbacks. Any new members? 16 current viewers. Alright, I've got it close. I'm going to take 180, sand it right down to perfect shape. And here accuracy counts. You want to get it flush, because it's going to fit right exactly back into the skin. Okay, good enough. Now I'm going to mark on the skin here exactly where these are. And then there's a way to adjust these so that it fits onto the fuselage perfectly too. Okay, so I got, hopefully I can dig them out of there without a big rigmarole. Yep, no problem. So this one here, get some CA. This is only a 16th inch bulkhead. This one here goes right here. Move this out of the way so you can see. Of course it doesn't work. Why would I think any less? Try this one. Yep, there we go. Get my machinist square out of here. "48 minutes. Try to make it square with the fuselage. Come on. Having a hell of a time here. Guess I need to tack it on the bottom. Put a tack weld right there. There we go. Help give me a third hand to hold the darn thing. No good. I guess this is harder to do than I make it look. There we go. There we go. Got it. Okay. Now let's do the back one. Except it fell out. What happened to it? Oh, there it is. So this is forward. And these are directional, so you want to keep the orientation correct. So this is forward on the buck. We want to go forward here. And that's it. In 2 hours time, meaning that the hour last night and the hour tonight, I've made this bottom block that's 12 grams. We'll see what it weighs with those extra pieces in there. And it should fit as good as that I made, you know, the buck. And if you have to adjust it for width, you just cut a wedge right here, you know, a slice up this way, and then take a sliver out and then stick it together and put a drop of CA on it. You know, this is all hand fit, so nothing's going to go super smooth. But it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I'm just going to have to straighten this up some. You could put a hole in these bulkheads. There's not really any need for it. See, that one there is bowed. Why? It's bowed right there. Remember, a lot of guys tell you they can do it. Not many can show you they can do it. So we're going to need a bulkhead in front here. I forgot about that. I'm going to make some index marks on this so we know where to put this back on the I guess I could make them right. Make the index mark right on the bulkhead. Damn close. We're not building a watch, but it's pretty close. I need that front bulkhead though made so it holds it together up here. Now with any luck, because I did this all by eye, this, yep, it's good. It's good. It's this is a little long. So we're going to need to make a bulkhead for the front. We're going to make this front one out of 1/8 because it may need to be removed. So this is a hard piece of 1/8" balsa. It's not super heavy, but it's hard. It's probably 8-pound wood. Plywood. Pin that to this. Trying to be accurate. Okay. See, this is what goes on here. I just had the pen in my hand and the pen has disappeared. I mean, it's like the gremlins come, rush over, take it, and run off with it. Oh, man. There we go. That's what happens when you don't have any room. Okay, so undo this. So like, subscribe, share, super chats help. Make sure you see Charles tonight on the Hangout. We had a good hangout the other night. There was quite a few people in there. Probably, I don't know, 12, 15 guys. Okay. I'm going to sand this close, and then I'm going to pin it back on and then sand it to the buck to make it perfect, because it's got to fit in there pretty darn close. I bet it probably would fit right now. Pretty close. So we need to pin this back on here. You think things are close. When you get to the line, I'm going to show you how much difference there really is. Now that I've sanded to the line, but there's got to be at least a 64th to a 32nd of an inch sticking above the buck. No good. So just put it back on and sand it down to the buck. This is basically the same when you're building a lost foam wing. You're sanding down to the buck so that the rib is absolutely perfect. Otherwise, you'll have to fill it with glue. And what happens when you fill it with glue? Lots of weight. Remember, it's all about weight. We gotta get that weight out of the airplane. I keep watching the forum. Them guys talk about you gotta build it too light. Yeah, show me. Okay. So this is out. Let's put an O on it. It's the front bulkhead there, F2, is light ply, so I made this 1/8" light ply, so I made this 1/8" balsa. Because this might have to be removed in case there's a pipe that that goes in it. So I need to make a mark exactly where this is. I want it to fit on there perfectly. So we'll make a mark right there and a mark right there. And we'll fit this back on with an index it where the mark is that I showed. Yep. Then I'm going to make a mark right here and a mark right there. Okay. I will say this. Okay, we're now going to trim all this flashing off of here. I cut it a little big. 180, we'll sand it. Split that. Come on now. It's only wood, so don't freak out. And it gets hot. I guess we use 80. That's pretty close. And that goes right like that. See how close we are back here. Perfect. So that's how you hand fit the bottom block on there. And that's basically done. We'll set this aside until the airplane's ready to go back together. Let's weigh it up. Now this is the bottom block complete. It should be around a half an ounce, no more than a half. That'd be 15 grams. That includes the glue and the bulkheads. We started out at 12. We're still at 12, so that's good. So we didn't add but half a gram probably. It's a super long block, but we'll tape that on there so I don't lose it. The sound of wood cracking is scary, yeah? Don't bother me. because I got lots of glue. It'll take a little bit of fitting. It's not quite perfect. What I'll do is I'll mark it here and sand it. Between that mark and right here needs to be sanded. That's exactly right. You want this to fit without any pressure. That way your fuselage won't go sideways on you when you dope it. And it needs to be sanded right here. So sand it right there, between those two marks. Anyway, that's all I got for this evening. I hope you gained something out of it. And we'll be back tomorrow for some more nonsense. So make sure to like, subscribe, share the videos, and stay tuned for Charles's show tonight. He usually starts around 9:30 Eastern Standard. I don't know what time that is in Pacific, but I guess it's 3:30 or 4. I don't know, somewhere around there. Whenever Charles gets on, he gets on. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Till I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.